for the 2015 season. I'm joined for this wrap-up by league member and triumphant Week 1 winner, Ryan Parker. Parker, how are you today?
All right.
All right, good. So let's start off with you, the guest of honor. How do you feel about your big 134-98 win over Mark?
Yeah, I'm pretty pumped about it. I'm excited that Gronk and Julio Jones carried me to victory. Even though I have a very weak running back core, my Sunday pickup, Benny Cunningham, came through with 15 points, so I was pretty happy about that. So, I mean, I scored pretty well, but I mean, I still feel like I left some points out there because Amari Cooper didn't do too much, and neither did Brandon Cooks. So, still feel like I got some points to score.
Yeah, I think everybody thinks they could improve, but got to be happy with what you put up, and a real smart
Definitely.
move getting Cunningham. Do you think at this point you can keep going with this, find the hot back of the week, or are you looking to solidify that core
I
in
mean,
some
I,
way?
I think I'll eventually have to solidify the running backs a little bit. I know I have four pretty good wide receivers. Three of them I'm willing to trade. Julio Jones is kind of in that untouchable category right now. Well, I shouldn't say untouchable. Nobody's untouchable, but I don't think
Exactly.
I don't think I'm going to be able to get an offer good enough to really replace him. So, I mean, if anybody's out there needs a wide receiver, I'm your guy. Talk to me.
I told you I'm willing to move Bell for Julio. We'll talk more about
See,
it.
I don't. I'd rather keep. I feel like I can just fill in fill in wide or running backs and keep the stud wide receivers. I feel like they're honestly a little bit more valuable than running backs in our league.
Can I call you Parker the politician on how fast you flip flop there?
Oh, whatever. Yeah, sure.
All right, that's enough of our negotiations. Let's see who else. Well, Swan was definitely the big winner.
Yeah,
100,
Swan
170 points.
Swan did very well this week. He had 20 points from his kicker. Anytime you get 20 points from your kicker, you should win.
That's probably a very true statement. I though, for those, I don't think anybody really knows. Parker and I were going to do a post-draft discussion, and I had Swan as my favorite going into the season. I thought he drafted incredibly well.
He, I would agree with you. He has a lot of really good players on his team. I mean, somehow he got Jamal Charles, Jeremy Hill, or Jeremy Hill,
Yeah, and
Chris
Ivory.
Free, like Garrett Blunt, whatever. How do you do that?
He was he. We were passing up people that everyone else was passing up. Just fell to him way later than they should have.
Yeah, hell
And
yeah,
he made smart picks. I remember him getting mad at me for pointing out no one had drafted Ivory yet, but
yeah,
it was ridiculous how far some of those guys fell. So
yep.
I think he's good going forward.
I agree.
Um, in that game, I think Ryan's got to be a little worried about Peyton Manning, especially with how quickly he reached for Manning in the draft.
I would agree. Yeah, he's. I mean, he didn't look. I don't know if he's just getting finally hitting that age, or he's finally starting to get older. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. See what happens. Whoever I forget who has Demarius Thomas in our league, but I'd be worried whoever has Demarius Thomas. I feel like that's going to kill his deep ball potential. Who has Demarius Thomas? Does Max have Demarius Thomas? I feel like
Um,
Max does.
that sounds right.
Yep, Max has Demarius Thomas. Yep.
Right, you are, sir. I saw an interesting bet on Reddit today regarding Peyton that tonight he's going to break out and shatter all the doubts. 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. You think that would be possible for him to bounce back, or do you think that it's going old man noodle arm on
Who
him?
do they play? The Chiefs.
Yeah,
I think. Uh, I don't know. I feel like the Chiefs has a pretty good pass rush, so I feel like they're going to get to him. I think he's going to do a lot of dinking and dunking tonight. So we'll see.
we'll see. I'll take that bet with you. You want to put like 20 push-ups on it? You
Sure.
can you
Old
can
time
pick your
sake.
side.
Old
Do you
time
like
sake. Clip.
do you like him to go off, or do you like him to struggle?
I I say he gets below 15 points.
Below 15 points, I'll take over 15 points for Manning tonight for 20
All
push-ups.
right,
All
you
right.
got it.
All right, let's move along here. There were a few other games I wanted to talk about. Poor Marty. He let Stan get a 97-point win and 75 points, and lost Des Bryant for I think 3 to 6 weeks. Whew.
I heard it could be longer, but yeah, yeah. That's a crushing blow to lose your first round pick like that, especially Mr. Cowboy Marty losing his boy Dez.
Oh well,
But
I'm not happy with Mr. Cowboy
yeah,
Tony Romo losing a weapon.
that too. Yeah. So I don't know what Marty's gonna do. I mean, Marty. I mean, you got Stafford as his quarterback. I mean, you all know how I feel about Matthew Stafford, but he ain't what he used to be.
What did he used to be?
Okay, I stole him. I stole him that one year, and he ended up being really good. And sorry, I drafted him a couple years after that because I loved him, but I'm
That's
off that
okay.
bandwagon.
I think Stafford was an okay pick. I don't remember how late Marty took him.
He took him before I think like Tannehill and like all them people went. Not saying Tannehill just because I have Tannehill, but
yeah, well, I like Tannehill. I like that pick a lot. But I was of the opinion this year if you didn't get Rodgers or Luck, you really couldn't go wrong waiting.
yep. I was under the
I
same
mean,
opinion. Good old
I'm
Matthew
very
Berry.
yes. But I do like him. But a lot of people, he took him 90th overall. That might have been a little early.
Who, me?
No,
Oh,
Marty took Stafford
yeah,
there.
yeah. That's why I remember him taking him pretty early. So
No, what are you gonna do? I mean, if he doesn't like him, Mariota is a big sleeper pick this week. I don't know. Did anybody pick up Mariota in our league?
I think Swan may have. Good old
Yeah, or no, I don't see him.
no.
So anyone looking for a quarterback, that would be my pick of the week, just for play him against bad defenses.
Tyrod Taylor.
Tyrod Taylor.
I think he's
Want
gonna
to
be
make
good.
him?
Like Tim Tebow back in the day. I'm not saying Tebow's a good fantasy quarterback. Ask Mark.
Yeah, and Tebow was okay at
You could
fantasy. He
you could
wasn't
do a
like a
lot.
number one scorer
You could do have a lot worse.
technically. Yeah, I can't stand Tebow. You
Yeah,
know that though.
I know. I had to bring him up.
Well, you got under my skin, so kudos for that. Let's let's talk about me for a bit. As a narcissist, I was just waiting to do that.
Yep, yep.
I picked up a win. My biggest dream was to be 1-1 through 2 games before Le'Veon comes back. So I'm pretty happy. But you can hit me now. What criticism do you think I need on my team?
You know what? I really don't think you have. I mean, you got Le'Veon Bell is out, and you have Arian Foster who's hurt, and you got them coming back, and you still have Lamar Miller and Frank Gore. How in the world you pulled that off? I don't know, but kudos to you for that. Um,
Well, thank you.
I mean, Jordan Matthews, he's going to be solid. Brandon Marshall, he probably went a little bit later in the drafts than he should have. He'll be good.
Matthews was my favorite pick of the draft for myself. I felt like Swan there. Where did I get him? I got him 46th, and I think I had him ranked like 28th
Yeah,
overall. So I was really happy with that.
yeah,
Grant's beaten me I think 3 years in a row before this on opening day, and he's got some worries with OBJ not really putting anything up, and the Vikings looking terrible, which is bad news for Peterson.
yeah. I hope he's happy with the way that trade worked out with Mark. Giving it it's like King's ransom.
I know, I know. Speaking of segues, or wait, we already talked about Mark, didn't we? You
Did
played
not?
him.
I don't think we did.
We
Oh,
well, we talked about
talked
you.
about
We
me.
didn't talk about Mark
Talked
because
about Mark.
even with the big trade, he still lost to you by a sizable amount. I mean, even you had a great week, but he wouldn't have beaten too many people at 98 points. He went with CJ Anderson, who we were just talking about before we started streaming, and that could turn out to be a bust of a first round pick, I think. Parker, are you with me? All right. It looks like I lost Pa, but I'll keep talking a little bit until he gets back on. I was surprised that CJ Anderson did so poorly, but I guess he wasn't Mark's first round pick. Or yeah, he traded, but he to the late first round. Um, Otherwise, you got Justin Forsett there, who I thought was a good running back too, but just Baltimore couldn't get anything going. That Denver Baltimore game was really ugly. If any of you guys watched it, so I think Mark, though, I think he's in a place where he doesn't need to panic after 1 week. I think he can sit and see, especially he had Alfred Morris on his bench. I forgot about that. That's must have just been playing the mat. Oh, because he had D'Angelo Williams at flex. I guess that makes sense. But I think he'll be good going forward. He has plenty of weapons. Let's see. Hopefully Parker's able to just go and re-click on that link if he's watching the feed. I hope he heard that. Let's see. We got that one guy that won't pay. That would be Panda, of course. Haven't heard from him about actually making the payment, but he had a huge week. You'd expect the guy who's slacking on getting the dues in to not be putting up that great of numbers. 145 to 81 over the Hingle McCringleberries, and gosh, Carlos Hyde. I thought he went about the right spot. I think Panda took him toward the end of the second round, or the end of the third round. I'm sorry, late 20s, early 30s. But he looked fantastic. The spin moves, aggression, the power. And everyone thought San Francisco was just going to be a dumpster fire of an offense. But I think Panda could be pretty good this year. And Jonathan Stewart was even a little disappointing. I think Stewart's poised for a really big year as long as he stays healthy, which is why people were staying away from him. So who knows what will happen there. But I think Panda's team looks really good. If Carlos Hyde can be obviously not as dominant as he was this week, but somewhat good for the rest of the season going forward, I think Panda looks really good. Hingle McCringleberries. Parker, we're back.
Sorry.
That's okay. I'm talking about the matchup between the Hingle McCringleberries and that one guy who won't pay.
That guy.
We'll see if he's watching the video, but you know that even if I change his name, he can just go back in and change it again. There's just a little bit of hazing there. Anyway, I said I think Panda has a great team, and now I'm just looking at Wes's squad. Andrew Luck was a big disappointment probably for him this week.
Yeah, but he had a tough matchup there against the Bills. They get to the pass rusher.
I drafted
saying that on if you watched all those shows or whatever that he was gonna have a hard time. So you kind of had to expect that. And he drafted him so high, you had to play him, but you couldn't be expecting him to really perform really well.
Yeah, I also think Wes got a little smart with him, a little too smart. I think Landry and Abdullah are two guys. Obviously in hindsight, I can say this, but I think he'll be starting them in the future, and I think he can still turn it around too.
Yep.
So, honestly, I think the only person who needs to be panicking through week one is Marty. There's one more game. Didn't get to. Just want to touch on everybody real quick because I know everybody cares about your and my opinions so very much. Right. Max and Minnie had the ugly matchup. An 86-point victory for Minnie. You're not going to get too many of those in the CHFFL. What are your thoughts on this one, Pa?
Well, I'm just sitting here looking at their Minnie missed. Minnie's won obviously still, but I feel like going forward, Tyler Eifert should be his starting tight end. It looks like it's only going to be really Eifert and Green going forward for the Bengals. So I feel like he's probably going to be a top. I feel like he could be like a top 5 tight end this year.
Agreed. I think he's a huge sleeper. I was surprised he went so long. I think it was a great pick.
Yeah, I had a couple strategies going into the draft. If I wasn't going to take Gronk in that first round, I was going to try and wait for him or like Dwayne Allen or Kobe Fleener or somewhere down late rounds. But
yeah, I hear you.
I like the pick. I like Eifert.
There actually is there's a tight end on our waiver wires that I won't name that I think is very
CHFFL.
interesting.
Oh, yep, him, that guy.
Yeah,
Whoops.
no name drop, and I mean everybody knows it's not that hard to go in and see who did well week one. But
Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised we added the tight ends can be a flex this year. I don't think anyone would use it, but you might if you're really hurting at receiver or something, or
Yep.
running back especially.
Yeah, like me. Yep. But I got 4 wide receivers, so I don't need to do that.
You do have 4 wide receivers, and you do not need all of them. All right, so Max, yeah, I thought Shady was overrated this year, but
Risky.
I'm see what happened. I mean, he didn't look bad. I just don't think he's
Healthy.
healthy ever,
Yeah.
or cream of the crop anymore. So that wraps up for our review of week one. Just will comment on a couple of the acquisitions. It wasn't a very busy week on the waiver wire. I think it's because we were so active. A few of the big names were already gone in our league. Max had already picked up James Jones, and I think maybe Mark picked up Percy Harvin. Those were 2 of my big guys after week one that I thought would be worth a waiver slot.
Yeah.
I see you picked up Moncrief, which probably a good pick if T.Y. Hilton misses time.
Just going for depth. I don't have any that a lot of the I've got running back, those crappy running backs that I have, I can drop, so
Yeah. No, I think that was a good move. And correction, SSS, is that the Super Squirrels? They
the lot of S's is
that's
wait,
on my.
yeah, no, Swan did pick up Mariota.
He
Yep.
did, yeah.
Yep.
All right,
Yep.
correction from earlier. Swan picked up Marietta, but dropped Ruben Randall, who I think should be owned in our league. I think there's someone in our league who could use Ruben Randall as a bench slot. I told you this that I mean you dropped Ronnie Hillman. I think Hillman is worth a stash at this point because I have faith in the Broncos not sucking as much as they did the first week. But that's just me. Otherwise, I don't see anything. Sorry about that. I don't see anything noteworthy. So I think that just about does it. Pa, do you have any more comments on the first week?
I do not. It was a lot of fun. I feel like our league's active this year, so I mean I like that. It's not to saying that it wasn't active in the past, but I feel like there's a lot of trade discussions going on. And fun.
Yeah, definitely it was a great week one. I mean, like I said, I think Marty, just because of that unfortunate Dez injury, is the only person who should be hitting a bit of a panic button.
I feel like we're pretty even this year. A lot of the teams are even. I don't think there's. I mean, I know Swan scored 170 points or whatever the first week, but I don't think he can expect to score that many points a week. I mean, I think almost everybody on his team except for that one guy scored over 20 points. So, I mean, I feel like we've got a pretty even league.
I agree. You couldn't surprise me right now if you saw the future and told me anybody won the entire thing. So just last thing, what do you think? You're facing Stan. He had a bit of a rough week one, but still picked up the win. What are you most worried about, or what do you think the key to this game is going to be? Who needs a big performance from whom?
I'm worried about. I mean, I can't really control what's going on with Stan, but I'm really worried about trying to find a running back to put in that second slot. I mean, I hope Trey Mason's going good enough. It looks like he's projected to play right now, but um, just hoping I get another big week from one of my wide receivers. I'm going to rely on them again, and hopefully Tannehill puts up a little more than 11 points. But feel like it'll be a good game.
Yeah,
Feel like it'll be close.
definitely. Just FYI, Gurley's practicing in full pads, so.
I saw that too. Yeah, I know. Pretty soon I'm going to be looking for 2 running backs. So
I just have to get this note in. Arian Foster practiced today.
yeah, I
he
know
was
that about him. So I know.
he was a top 5 pick before this groin injury on ESPN's rankings.
You took him right before I was going to. So.
I actually am surprised I let him fall that far. Now that I'm looking back on it, I mean, we all just bought into the rankings a bit much, I think. But
Yeah,
Parker, congrats on the first week's win and on drafting a great team.
you as well. You as well.
And I wish everyone best of luck in week 2. Go out there, stay active, and do it. And Panda, pay your dues. So help me
Please,
God.
please. We appreciate that you're paying attention and everything. That's great, but I mean, just soon, please.
Just don't be that guy. Just
Yeah. I mean, we know where you live, so
I'm not saying something bad will happen to you, but there's certain implications, like if you were out on a boat. I don't know if anyone in our league watches Always Sunny, but all right. That's enough. This one has run a little longer, but I had fun talking to you, Pa, and
yeah,
we'll see
same.
everybody next week.
Sounds good.